Well, welcome to the Hamilton County Coaches Show. I'm Perry Williams, and I'm at Westfield High School today and interviewing Coach Ginny Smith of the Westfield Shamrocks. Welcome, Coach.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Well, big win last night against Avon.
Yeah, big win in a lot of ways for us.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that game and talk about some of your players because we haven't got to do that so far this season.
Okay.
And let's talk a little bit about that game and some of the players that played well.
You know, I think for us, obviously, our focus going into that game was making sure defensively we could handle their size. They're just so big. You know, they do a lot of things well, and they get it into the post. It seems to be a focus for them. So we wanted to make sure that we were prepared from that aspect, which I think our kids across the board do a really nice job defensively, and we have kind of all year long. Where we've not always been so great is on the offensive end in terms of just making shots. And I felt like tonight we were good on, or last night we were good on both ends of the floor. We were able to defend and execute what we needed to do defensively, and we were able to knock down some shots when we really needed them.
Yeah, you know, in looking at your schedule here, you've kind of had a tough road to go. I mean, you've played Carmel, you played Zionsville last night, Avon, and then you have another conference game coming up here on Saturday, a Saturday afternoon game at 1:30 at Noblesville at the Mill. And Donna Buckley's team's kind of struggling a little bit, but you're pretty familiar with her, so you know kind of what to expect, and you know she always has them ready.
Sure, and even if they are struggling, like you said, they're going to be ready to play. We're going to Noblesville, which is not an easy place to go and try and get a win. So, I mean, we're going to have to be really prepared across the board to go in there and do well and hopefully come out with a win. Yeah.
Now, you got, you know, after that, you also have Anderson coming up there, you know. So
we're going to Anderson,
and that's a sectional team there, right? So.
You know, we added them to our schedule just because they were a sectional opponent. We thought it'd be good to, you know, try to play them early in the season. And so, you know, we look forward to going over there, but definitely not going to be an easy place to go play either.
No, because Noblesville found that out last night. So, and went over there and lost last night, I think, by 10, 62-52. But the game on now, talk a little bit about, you know, the game on that Saturday afternoon, because do you this year still have 2 or 3 afternoon games, or is this the only one you have this season on a Saturday?
So we played Rushville in the afternoon on a Saturday. You know, and I don't know. I haven't looked ahead to see if we have any. I think this may be our last day game.
Well, the only reason I bring that up is because you know, it's a different routine that your kids have to get into.
We'll go to Hamilton Heights and do it too. I think it's a day game at Hamilton Heights.
Yeah. And you get up, you know, they're at home. You know,
we prefer day games, overnight games, and we actually like Saturday day games.
Really?
Yeah, we like our routine a little bit better. We feel like the kids are fresher versus coming in, you know, to try playing an evening game. They don't have the wear of the day on them. We actually like those day games.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, Coach. Let's talk about a few of your players and what type of team you feel like you have, because you have a mix of some seniors, but you also have some young players.
Yeah. You know, we've got a little bit of everything going on right now, and I think that's kind of why you're seeing the up and down from us too. Our chemistry isn't always what it needs to be in terms of just gelling well with each other. You know, we've got some good leadership with Jade Shipley on the floor as a senior, Zoe Pentecost, a senior, giving us good minutes as well. And those two do some really nice things for us, just even if they're not scoring, in terms of just helping lead some of the younger kids. But then you throw in there a mixture of a couple juniors and then some sophomores and some freshmen, and so we've got a little bit across the board coming. You know, Alyssa being a freshman, you know, there's that learning curve, just that transition from middle school to high school, the transition from AAU to high school. It's just a big transition to make, and she's doing a nice job. You know, she's going to have some struggles. She's had some struggles, but, you know, through all of it, mentally, she stayed sharp. She comes back every day. It's a new day, which is a nice thing to see. It's refreshing. She doesn't let it get her down. And some of our upperclassmen are really helping her with that. You know, they're encouraging, they're supportive, and so they want to see our younger kids do well. They know if they're doing well, you know, we'll do well. So it's kind of been a nice thing to see. It's just chemistry, like I said, is not always, we're not reading each other really well, but the important thing is that just each time we're getting a little bit better, and hopefully by January everything's gelling.
Yeah, because, you know, I think you and I talked about this before. that jump from playing middle school where
Yeah.
you've played your entire life with basically the same age group,
Sure.
okay?
Yeah.
And then you make that freshman jump and end up on the varsity, and you're playing gals that are 3 and 4 years older than you. It makes a lot of difference, especially adjustment and maturity and everything.
Sure, there's the experience piece, there's the strength piece, and then you've got to acknowledge too, in middle school there's really no scouting that occurs, and by the time you hit high school everybody scouts each other. So you learn tendencies, how to defend, and you're trying to pick out weaknesses in kids and try to expose that in some way. And so it is a huge adjustment, but our younger kids have done well.
Yeah, yeah. And in fact, we broadcast your game against Carmel, and you played a very good game there. Just kind of got away with.
Yeah, didn't do the little things down the stretch. Carmel's got some young kids that are doing good things for them
that's
too.
right,
I mean,
too.
their freshman is doing a nice job for them as well. So I think it's good to see across the board. We've got some young kids coming. A lot of us do, and so it'll be interesting to see how it develops.
Yeah, that's great. And it's all the Hoosier Crossroad Conference, and then you throw in another school in our county, Carmel. It's out of the mix. I mean, up and down the schedule, you don't have too many cupcakes anymore.
No, you don't really ever get a night off. Most people have some pretty strong schedules that they're playing, and so it's good. It prepares us for our sectional, which ultimately that's what it comes down to.
Absolutely. And and looking at your schedule here coming up, here towards the end, I mean, you got Frankton, which is a very good 2A basketball team, and a lot of times in small schools like that, I mean, that's the world,
They live for it. The community really gets behind them and supports them, and they've got some young kids that they're real excited about as well. So, it should be an interesting game.
Well, Jenny, I look forward to broadcasting. Hamilton County TV does on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
In fact, we'll be doing a doubleheader that day because we're at the mill that night in a boys game with Heights, and then we're here Friday night with the boys at Noblesville.
Yeah.
So thank you for taking time out of your busy
absolutely.
schedule, because I know you had a drill this morning.
Yes.
And, being an assistant principal and dean of students keeps you very, very busy. And
It does.
all right.
It
Well,
does.
thank you, and I appreciate
thanks so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Yep, bye-bye.